Hello. In this video clip, I am going to show you a few handy tips for using the district report template in Pages on your iPad. This is a template document that has been created to assist in writing district water quality reports using the data from the WQEE server. You can request this document in Pages or in Word format. Here we will be looking at how to easily create the report on your iPad using the Pages document. This tutorial is one of a series of tutorials presenting how to easily use the WQEE app and how to create meaningful reports. You can access these tutorials by opening FileMaker Go on your iPad and selecting the WQEE Field 2021 version and the video tutorials up in the top left. And there's a whole list of videos that you can access via YouTube to watch right on your iPad.
To help people understand the water.
Close that down. So there's a whole list there showing you lots of different ways to maximize your use of the WQEE app. Lots of special tips and tricks in there too. So it's well worth your time. In this tutorial, we are going to show you how to save the provided document as a template in Pages, how to move graphs from Excel into your Pages document and resize them so that your final document is a manageable size, how to easily paste the text from Excel into tables in your Pages document, and finally, how to search the document for specific words like insert or XX. First, what you will need to do is go onto your working computer and compile the data you will need for your district report. I use Excel for creating my tables and graphs, as the pivot table function available makes this task quick and easy. There's one of the tutorial videos in the WQEE 2021 Field app that explains this process. So if you don't know about pivot tables, please watch that video. I like to create an email to myself with the BC District Template Report Pages document and the graphs and tables that I want in my report simply copied and pasted into the text portion of the email. Then I send that email to an email address I can access on the iPad. I've already completed this step and will walk you through what you can do on your iPad from that stage. So let's get started. First, open your email on your iPad and find the document you've emailed to yourself. Go down to my email. Now click on the document to download it onto your iPad, and your iPad might say open in Pages on the top right, or it might have or it might have this export button. I'll just click that and show you can open the document in Pages by selecting Pages under that export icon. Once the document opens in Pages, I want you to first save it as a template on your iPad. This will ensure that each time you start a new district report, you are opening a fresh file that will not be corrupted in any way. Incidentally, feel free to create your own template in time as you become more familiar with what is needed for your specific district using this document as a starting point. To save this as a template, tap the circle with the ellipsis on the top right and select the export and then the Pages template. Then touch the add to template chooser, and that will add it to all the templates that are available in Pages. Now I'll just show you for those not so familiar with Pages, I'll cancel that. When you open up Pages on your iPad, it gives you this option to create a document with this plus icon. So if we do that, it brings you to all these templates that you can choose from to start your report document, whatever it is. Now you can see under this recent, you can see the one we just saved as a template, the BC District Template Report. But if you've saved it maybe a year ago, to find it, just scroll down to the bottom and you'll see a section that says My Templates, and it should be there. Also, if you're making templates for other reports and you need to manage them by renaming them or moving them around, you just hold your finger down on the template here and you can rename it, you can share it with colleagues, or you can delete it. So that's quite handy. So just to remind you, we've gone in, we want to create a new document using this BC district template report. So we'll select that. Now, the first thing you should always do when creating any kind of file from a template is rename it so you don't get confused. So in Pages, the file name is in the top center. So to change that, you just hold your finger down on that and the rename option will come up. And then using your keyboard, you can just rename that. Let's just call this example 2021. And then click somewhere else to save that. In Pages, it saves your document automatically. So you don't have to look around for the save icon. It just will save it automatically. You can go back into Documents, you can go out of the Pages app and then back in, and it will be saved for you. So let's open up that example 2021 again. Okay. So now what I would suggest you do is read through the entire template report, and as you go, you can change. You see right at the beginning, it says insert district. You'd insert your district there. So I would go through reading it carefully, adding information as you see fit, and deleting anything that doesn't suit. So we put insert district or an XX where we think you need to fill in something else. Okay, so first let's, I just want to show you, if you're not familiar with Pages, I just want to show you how this document is set up. It will help you if you want to change this template in any way or change the report in any way. So if you click on any part of the document, so let's click on the title, and then click on the format, the paintbrush. That's kind of the format tool here. And you can see under the text, it says paragraph style, and this style is the title. Next, if we move down and click somewhere else, maybe in the body text, you can click that and see the paragraph style is body. Now, for creating the table of contents, you want to make sure that all of your headings have the appropriate format. So these ones are headings. And if we go down, let's just get that out of the way. The other option for moving around your document, if it gets quite large, you can see your table of contents on this first page, which we've inserted in the template. But if you want to move around, you can press this icon up on the top left, and it shows you your table of contents there. And say I want to go down to further information at the bottom, it will hop you right there. So that's a really good way of moving around the document as it gets larger, rather than just scrolling up and down using your finger, because in a large report that could take a very long time. So you can just go back up to the introduction using this menu up here. So if you wanted to put in a new heading, let's say we just want to put in a new heading called, let's call it new heading. And then we would use our format, and right now it's a body paragraph style, but let's say we want to change it to a heading. And we'll say that's our new heading. And then if we go up here and refresh this, you can see that new heading has come up in there. So you can just play around with that as you need. We don't need a new heading there, so I'm just going to delete that. As I discussed earlier, I've emailed myself the graphs and tables I want to enter into my district report. So to access these, I'll open up my email on my iPad and save the graph I want to insert into my report as a photo. So go into your email and find that email you sent yourself that has the graphs in it. And to save it as a photo, just hold your finger over the file, and then in the upper right corner, tap the export icon, and then click, I want to save, be given the option to save just this image or save all the images in your email. I'll save both images from my email. Hit done. Then you'll see they'll be saved under your Photos app. So you can see both of the graphs that I brought in from Excel are saved under my Photos app. With these graphs, they're already a very small size, but I want to show you, in case you want to bring a photo into your report, I want to show you a way that you can resize that to keep your document a manageable size. So this is also really helpful in case your graph is an unmanageable size, then you can resize it by bringing it in as a photo. So there are two ways to do that. One way is to email it to yourself and change the size of the photo that way. That can be tedious though, and I recommend the other way, which is getting an app to do that for you. But first I'll show you the email way so you can have a play around with that. Let's take this photo from my file and pretend we want it in the report, and select the icon up here for export, and then select the mail option. Now, right away, you can see in the CC/BCC line, you can see that it says images and it's selected 51.7 for us. Now that's the small size of this. You could send it the actual size, but as we said, we want to reduce it, so you send it that way. Put your own email in and send it that way, and then the new image that you get emailed, then you can save that in your photos on your iPad and use that and insert that in your report. So that's how you would do that. Now, I'll show you the other easier way. Well, I think it's quite a lot easier. Is I've bought this photo shrink app online. It's just a couple dollars. I think it's money well spent. And you can, down in the bottom right here, it says add from your library. And let's add these three. You can add as many, I'm not sure if there's a limit. I don't think there's a limit. You can add quite a few photos and graphs and resize them all at once. So you can see they're all lined up and you can see the size of them. And just select go and it compresses them for you. And you can say done. And then it gives you an option of what you want to do with the images. And I'll just say save to the library. And hit done. And then move out of that. And when we go back into our photos, you can see that it has saved it right next to the original copy. So this one is the original copy and this is the compressed one. You can see it's a bit more blurry. So for these graphs, I wouldn't actually use the reduced version, but for this photograph, I would definitely use the reduced version because it's still good enough for the document and it will make it so that I can email that document around and it won't be too large. Okay, so now let's put those photos or graphs into our document where we want to put it. So the first one, we'll scroll down to where the graph is. So select the graph that you want to replace with your own information and just select it by putting your finger anywhere on the graph and you can see that it's highlighted. And then we just want to delete that. Now leave the cursor blinking where you've just deleted that graph and tap the plus icon up here and then select photo or video. Now I want to choose the graph that I want to put in there and then it just does it for you. Now I want to crop this image because as you can see, I've already put the title and the caption below. We don't need any of this other legend or other title, and it doesn't look very nice, I don't think. So to do that, I'll just make sure that the image is selected, and then come back up here to the format paintbrush and make sure you can see there's another menu up on the top here. Make sure it's under the image menu, and the lingo in Pages for crop is edit mask. So select that. And then just by putting your finger on the corners and dragging your finger along the screen, you can resize your image. You can crop out whatever you don't want in there by just simply moving it along. So I'm happy with that. I'll hit done. What I'm not happy with in this, you can see what's happened is the graph has moved down and the caption is now surrounding it. Now I like the caption to be on the bottom. So a really simple way is to just put your finger down on the graph, hold it and drag it and drag it and drop. So let's move it up here. And you just drop it. And then we want to make sure it's in the center of the page. So if you just do that again, hold your finger down and drag it. If you move it around where you think center is, it will show you where center is by this orange line will appear. So you just drop it there. So that's a way to do that. And I'm quite happy with that one. Okay. So now I want to show you how to copy a table from Excel from the email and paste it into the document. What I think is important to make this process quite easy is to insert the table in your document with the same number of columns and rows as your Excel table that you want to copy in. So we'll do the recommendations, local management issues. So if you were going to insert a table, I'll just show this quickly. You would press this plus icon, and then on the left, there's options for inserting tables, but we've already done that for you here. So I'm going to go back into my emails and find the correct email that has the table that I want to put in there. And if you'll remember, the table in Pages already has headings in it. So when I select, I'm going to leave out the headings from this Excel table. Now, to select an area of text on your iPad, if you're not familiar, you just put your finger down over the text that you want to select, and these blue circles will come up, one at the bottom, one at the top. Now you just use your finger to drag those circles to the top and the bottom of the text that you want to select. So it does take a little bit of practice and it can be a little bit finicky. So just be really patient and with yourself and with your iPad. So that's the top of the text I want to select, and then I go down to the bottom of the text I want to select. And then this menu will come up and we want to copy that table. Next, we'll move back into the Pages document, and we're going to select the cells that we want to copy that text right into. There we go. And the menu comes up again, and we want to paste. So you can see the text is a bit bigger and the table now stretches over 2 pages. So I don't really like that. So I'm going to go, while this table is still selected, I'm going to go up to the Format Paintbrush under the table option and scroll down. And I'm just going to make the table size a little bit smaller so that the whole table is on one page. Another little thing I'll show you here is making that table smaller has brought the next paragraph up. And so I'll just put my cursor here, and I want to insert a page break there so that that paragraph will always start on a new page. To do that, you can see this bottom menu that's popped up, and it has the, I'm not quite sure what to call that, the formatting. It looks like a backwards P, let's say. So I'm going to hit that, and then I'm going to insert the page break here. So that'll bring that down to the next page. So you can play around with the formatting like that as well. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to just show you, hopefully you've gone through the whole document and changed all the data to suit your district, added new tables, added new graphs, whatever it is you need to do to make your district report perfect. You might want to just double check that you've replaced all of the places where we've put insert or XX into the document. Obviously, you can search for whatever you need, but I would suggest that you always do that before you finalize a report when you've used a template like this. So to do that, tap this circle with the ellipsis up on the top right, and then select the find option. Now that's going to bring up this search bar in the bottom, and you can already see we've searched for XX. So I'm going to type that in again, and you can see it's highlighted the XX, and you can go through all the places where it says XX. Hopefully you won't find any because you'll already have replaced them all. The next one I would want to do is I'd want to search for insert and find every place that it says insert. Another one you can also search for, pardon me, is even a space. When you're a bit old school like me and you still use 2 spaces to start a paragraph, you can find those as well and change them to 1 space if you like. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you've learned something useful. Thanks for watching.